And welcome back to the show, everybody. My name is Shane, and I'm here with Mark.
Hey.
And we are the Fantasy Football Pros. So today we're going to be talking about our thoughts on some of the rookies that we talked about before the draft and talk about their landing spots.
It was a fun draft to watch. Surprise, surprise, everywhere.
Yeah, I would say so.
Before we
Obviously,
get into
go ahead.
As I say, before we get into the players that we had talked about before, were there any big winners? And I'm not talking winners as far as teams go, but winners as far as players on where they went or who didn't go to where they're at, that you would say, wow, they won this draft without being in the draft.
Are you going to drop this question on me without any
Yep, I am.
heads up?
I am indeed.
Okay, just because I'm a Bears fan, I'm going to go with Allen Robinson. He finally gets a good quarterback, which he has never had in his entire NFL career. And I think because of that, the Bears will be able to re-sign him next year. So I think it's like a win-win.
Okay. I'm going to go with A.J. Brown.
Great choice.
There was a glaring need for Tennessee to pick up another wide receiver, and there were many opportunities for them to pick up a good wide receiver in the draft, and they did not. With Davis gone and them not getting another wide receiver in the draft until later on, wow, the targets this man is going to have, he might, and I'm saying this now, hear me now, listen to me later, he might become the number one fantasy scoring wide receiver next year.
That's a very high possibility. I mean, he's already in the top 10 list before the draft. And they lost Jonnu Smith.
Yep.
So that's another target monster. Derrick Henry does not receive many targets at all.
Nope.
All you really have is AJ.
So I'm looking for him just to be a vacuum with that ball coming to him. That wasn't a very good sound, was it? That was a high-priced sound effect there. So anyway, that's my big winner of the draft. And also another big winner of the draft is Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
He now he knows, okay, this is my team.
Yeah, there was a lot of speculation that the Panthers were going to pick Justin Fields, actually, but they didn't.
Nope. So anyway, I just wanted
to
throw that out.
And they traded away his backup, so.
Yeah. I mean,
it's his show, and even if he messes up, it's his show.
It is. It's here you go, kid. This is them saying, we think it was the Jets, not you. We think the Jets just messed you up and didn't know how to develop you. We think we can. Let's go.
Let's see if they're right.
I mean, no one's job's on the line for that, is it?
Typically, there normally is.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out.
Especially when you do a trade for a quarterback and then you have the opportunity to draft one and you're like, nope, we good. We good. Back to the draft. Number one overall, this was blatantly obvious. Everyone knew it was Trevor Lawrence being selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, I mean, his outlook doesn't change at all because we already knew we were going to get out of him.
Yeah, I mean, you knew he is who we thought he was.
Yeah, he'll be the day one starter. He has 3 talented wide receivers he can throw the ball to. And now he has Travis Etienne, who he's played with in college. So he has that. I think that's going to be important for him. I know a lot of people are saying that probably wasn't like the greatest draft pick, but I think that will help him out because
familiarity.
Yeah, that and rookie quarterbacks tend to get a little more panicked, when they enter the NFL. And Etienne is just going to be really, really easy dump off for Lawrence. He's going to see that obvious his not obvious target, but his familiar target. And if he's getting any kind of pressure, he's just, okay, easy dump off pass.
Okay, so we all know that he is going to be day one starter. There are now 17 games in a season instead of 16.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play this game. Is he better than? Is he going to score more fantasy points than Danny Dimes?
I would say so. I don't have that much faith in him.
Will he score more than Goff?
That's a good question.
I mean, in real okay. So when we're talking about Lawrence, we're excited where he's going. We're excited that he's going to be able to watch him on Sundays. But as far as fantasy value goes, do you think he's maybe finish 12th or 13th in fantasy points for quarterbacks? Because he's going to throw
I,
the ball an awful lot.
I think that'll be a little bit of a stretch. I think he's probably like maybe top 15,
Okay.
to be honest. But then again, it always seems like there's a rookie quarterback, and it's always not the guy that you're expecting that just like comes out and just tears it up.
Like maybe a Justin Fields.
That's hope. But like Justin Herbert
Yeah,
last year,
right.
like he came in, no one was really expecting that much. I mean, he did have high draft capital, but weren't expecting him to be that talented on his rookie season.
And see, this is where I'm getting at with this. Drafting a Trevor Lawrence, he is going to be, if you're drafting him early on because of the hype and this and that, you are sadly mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
This is a quarterback you pick up toward the end of the draft if you can get him in the teens to be your second string quarterback, and especially if it's a keeper league or a redraft league. If it's a keeper league, then maybe you have something the following year that you at a discount. But right now, you're not going to get it. I think there's going to be too many people out there because of the hype on him, drafted him way too early, and I'm not willing to pay that price on him.
No, not in a redraft. Dynasty would be different, of course.
Yeah.
He's dynasty gold,
Yes.
like as safe as you can pick.
But yeah, if you're in a redraft or even a keeper league, in a dynasty league, yeah, maybe you pick him up earlier. Okay. But in that redraft or keeper league,
Yeah.
and that's the problem. I think some people aren't going to be looking at it that way. And some people are going to reach on him and go early. And they're going to be using a pick that they could have gotten a fantastic wide receiver, a good running back for, that's actually to be fantasy relevant for them.
Yeah, but we always welcome people overdrafting players
Sure.
that we play against.
Exactly.
Not you guys. You guys don't do that.
No, they're listening to us and probably other people, and they're being told don't do that. Whereas people who don't do their
Research.
the research, their due diligence, they're the ones that are gonna get suckered into that. So anyway, that's my take on that, and that's all I'll say about that.
Let's talk about Kyle Pitts, drafted number 4 by the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Pitts is considered to be the biggest play threat among all receivers in the draft. And they get Kyle Pitts, they have Julio Jones, and Kelvin Ridley. So they have, I would say, the top 3 receivers on any team, right? All 3 of those guys can dominate you. I think Kyle Pitts can probably produce in year 1, unlike most tight ends.
Dude, listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
They have nothing as a running back goes to speak of, right?
Well, they have Davis.
Yeah.
He's a mediocre back. He's decent. He's a good filler.
Decent. He's not a workhorse, right?
No.
So last year, our boy threw the ball over 600 times. Is that going to change this year? Are the Falcons all of a sudden become a run first team, or are they still going to throw the ball over 600 times?
Yeah, and did their defense get somehow better now? No. There's plenty of targets for Pitts, especially if Julio does get traded, because he did say that he wants to leave the team for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean this from he's the best tight end prospect possibly ever to come out of the draft ever. I mean, it's in all seriousness. I mean, that's hyperbole and everything else, but I mean, he is a freak of nature with his athletic ability, his speed, his hands. Now he's in a perfect situation. He's going to a team that throws the shit out of the ball. If he went to a team that was a balanced team, okay, yeah, he's fantasy relevant, but not a knockout. He's going to a team that comes from behind, is playing from behind, has no defense, and throws the ball just a ton. So what a great landing spot for him.
Yeah, and to a team that is known for throwing to the tight end. And they had Tony Gonzalez. They made Austin Hooper fantasy relevant. In
Well,
fact, he
even
was overdrafted the following year because of that.
and Hayden Hurst is not he's not a slouch. So that's someone that he can learn from also. It's not like he's going there and he's all of a sudden there's no one around him to teach him that position in the NFL. This Hurst can do that for him, help him along with that too.
Yeah. But he's got skills that Hurst does not have. I mean, he's
Yeah.
like we've already said, he's faster than any linebacker that's gonna be chasing him down, and he's bigger than any safety or corner that's gonna be trying to block passes.
Unless it's Micah Parsons.
He looked so offended during the draft, by the way, that
Micah?
that he wasn't selected earlier. I was watching it. His attitude totally reminded me of Ray Lewis. And like, do not sleep on this guy. He will mess you up.
Keep one eye open.
Yeah, he had that look in his eye, and I was like, "Ooh, this guy's gonna be fun to watch."
I think he's going to be the defensive rookie of the year.
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, not easily, but yeah, he could definitely make that move.
And yeah, like you said, he's got that look and he's got that being picked where he was picked now. He's got that chip on his shoulder to prove those
Mhm.
teams wrong. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, what a motivator for him.
Back to Pitts.
Yeah.
He has a 96.1 receiving grade and has a 0% drop rate.
Yeah, he's got good hands.
I mean, it makes him one of the best overall pass catchers that we've seen in a while. Now, let alone a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I put him right behind Waller. I mean, when I'm drafting this year, and especially in a league like ours where we do get a keeper,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking. You got I put him ahead of Mark Andrews. That I actually do. I put him ahead of Mark Andrews and after Waller.
Strategically, yeah, because I mean, like rookies, they tend to break out late because it takes them a little while to learn the playbook and all that. But I kind of agree with that. I think Andrews will have a better season than Pitts, but Pitts has a higher ceiling, a much higher ceiling, and he could win you like your fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, and you know, Andrews is getting older. He got beaten up a bit last year. I seriously, this kid, I think he's just in just such a fantastic spot. I mean, just really a fantastic spot that he couldn't have dreamt a better scenario for him to be drafted, what team to go to. If maybe not to win, okay? Listen, if you're about winning, well, too bad. It's not going to happen because you still don't have a defense there. But as far as being an exciting player, someone who's going to get pub, someone who's going to get the endorsements because they're going to be seen all the time, and just because of the stats that this kid's going to be able to put up, I think it's going to be crazy.
I agree. Immediately after Kyle Pitts was drafted, the Cincinnati Bengals, with the number 5 spot, drafted Jamar Chase, who is a former teammate of Joe Burrow. So it was interesting with that move because, they definitely could use a talented wide receiver, especially somebody to help their QB, but they also needed offensive line. But they did address that in the draft, which is really good. In the second round, they got a tackle, and then they got 2 more linemen later on in the draft. So I guess the hope is that they'll be keeping them safe with that.
I mean, yeah, okay. So they went with Chase, as a skill position, right? Then they did not go to another skill position until the 202nd pick, taking Michigan's running back.
Wow.
Those are the only two skill positions they took in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they went, like you said, they started the second round with a good offensive tackle. Then they went 3 defensive linemen, 2 defensive ends and a defensive tackle to help that defense out, and then another offensive tackle. So, yeah, I mean, what they're saying is we do believe that we have a team, an offensive team that can score. This is just the final piece we needed,
Hmm.
and I think they're right.
As long as their line holds up, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they certainly tried to help that line in the draft to help get some depth there.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is what there were 4 wide receivers / running backs that were partnered backed up with their quarterback from college. So
Yeah.
it almost looked like there were teams that were seriously thinking about this, that we're going to
Hmm.
get people that are going to be in a comfortable position
Yeah.
with the players around them.
I completely agree with that.
And they could have gone other ways. They had other needs, but this is for the future. This might not even be for this year. This is for the future of getting their a really good receiver for when AJ Green is gone.
Yeah.
They needed another playmaker. And not that AJ Green did anything the last couple of years anyway.
I think they just drafted their wide receiver 1.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I don't think Higgins and Boyd are wide receiver 1s. I think Higgins is really, really talented, but he's more like a number 2 guy.
Oh yeah, and then Boyd definitely is, he'll start off with his regular targets during the start of the season, but as that season goes on, he's going to lose
Mhm.
targets to these 2 kids
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
they'd be chasing Higgins for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay.
Okay, I guess that's all we got. And then immediately after Chase goes, the Miami Dolphins with the number 6 pick drafted Jaden Waddle, which I guess it left some people scratching their heads because everyone was projecting them to draft Najee Harris because they really desperately need a running back.
Yeah, that one yeah, I mean they definitely needed that, but I th- listen, I'm not sold on their wide receivers they have to begin with. I mean,
Hmm.
and we both talked about it when we were talking about wide receivers in that episode. We both said we liked Waddle so much better than Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Um, we both said we thought that Waddle is probably going to have the biggest impact as a wide receiver to start with.
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you felt the same way.
Yeah, and I think he still will.
Yeah, I mean, so I think he landed in a spot that is really good for him. That he's going to have fantasy value right away.
Oh yeah, I mean the guy's a burner.
And then as far as Miami goes, I still don't understand. I mean, they waited to pick 244 to pick up a running back. Dokes, you know, really? I mean, then again, we were surprised by other people, but there were so many opportunities for them to score other running backs, and they just ignored that position.
I think they did this because they want to give Tua as many weapons as possible to see, is Tua our guy, or should we be aggressively going for a quarterback next draft? And I think this is a great way to do it. Is just give him all the weapons that he could have. I mean, obviously, a running back does help your offense, but a wide receiver directly helps the quarterback.
Oh, I mean,
And
I understand that, but still, if you had a good running back, a balanced attack, that's going to help out a quarterback. If you're the center focus and everybody knows that it's going to be you can get more eyes on you and have a less success rate,
yeah,
in my
I don't think
opinion.
I don't think it was a bad move though. I mean, Tua last year he averaged 6.3 yards per attempt.
No, I listen. I'm saying it's not a bad. I love the move. I love them picking Waddle. I'm just saying, in rounds 2, 3, to
Oh
not
yeah, okay.
pick up a running back during those rounds, and then waiting all the way to Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, and there's a lot of juicy options that they could have chose from too.
Yeah, and instead they take out Dokes from Cincinnati, who it's not the top competition. Let's just say he's going against.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just think they made a mistake, and I mean, listen, it gives our boy Waddle even more looks, but as a team, I think they screwed that one up. But anyway, that's just me.
Yeah, and Tua's got two playmakers that he can throw the deep ball to. You got Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle. I think that they're gonna be scoring a lot of points. A
Hmm.
lot more than last year, at least. A
Yeah,
lot more than last year.
yeah. Their offense is better.
Hmm.
I like the position where he went. I like them getting Waddle. I just think their offense could have been even better if they would have gotten a running back in the second or third round. But anyway, that's not my problem. I'm not a Miami fan.
Yeah. Not yet.
No, just wait till the Bears piss me off some more.
And then the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted the very first running back at pick number 24 with Najee Harris. They had some things that they needed to address, right? Mainly on offense. They had an offensive line that desperately needed to be revamped. They have an aging quarterback that seems to be getting injured more often than not, especially last year. It was not good. And they needed a running back. And it seems like they felt like the running back was the most need. But we know Tomlin. He loves the running game, and he will live and die by the running game. And every year he says that we need to improve the running game, improve the running game. But I believe over the last 5 years, the running game has actually been on the decline.
It has been, and that's more of a line issue than the running backs they've had.
Yeah, well, I mean they didn't have the greatest running backs either, but after Le'Veon Bell left.
Well, I mean, for Najee to go where he's going, I mean, it is really a good situation for him because you do have a coach that historically loves to run the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got a lot of history behind him.
Oh yeah, he's going to get a lot of opportunities. He should get a lot of passes too. And Le'Veon Bell was getting around 100 targets per year, and Najee can catch the ball. So
Well, and if you watch Najee, he reminds you of Lev Bell. I mean, they look similar. They're a similar type of game, so he should fit right in there.
yeah, like I said, he's going to have plenty of opportunity. He's the 3 down back. He'll be the feature back from day one. He's not going to have any competition. If the Steelers are losing, he can catch passes out of the backfield, which might not need too many because they have 3 really good wide receivers. But they did address their offensive line though.
Yes, they did.
So let me just go through some stats. Last year, the Steelers rushed for the fewest yards at 1,351 and yards per rush at a horrible rate of 3.6 yards
Mm-hmm.
last season.
That's not Pittsburgh football.
No, not at all. And the Steelers ran by design a 34% of their plays, which ranks 27th in the NFL. I mean, that more often than not, they were leaning on Big Ben.
Yeah.
Which they really shouldn't have. Or they shouldn't have been in the opportunity or that position to have a guy that just had elbow surgery to be tossing the ball that much.
Yeah, he looked at toward the end of the year as a tired arm. I mean, without a doubt, he had a tired
Yeah.
arm.
They did lose 3 of their starters on the offensive line. But they still do have a Pro Bowler in David DeCastro. And they did draft
The third round was a center. The fourth round was a tackle.
okay.
And then in the second round, they took a tight end, which they needed also because their tight ends were not very good.
Mm-hmm. Opportunity is king, folks, and he is going to have a lot of it.
Yeah, definitely. So this is someone that you will be looking to draft. He will have some have fantasy relevance.
Yeah. So just let people keep on bashing him and driving his value until later rounds for us, so we can get him like in the 5th round,
That's the exact round I was going to say. That's the exact round I was going to say.
and he'll be a steal in the 5th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, and if he goes in the 5th round, hey, that's all the better for if he really has a good year in a keeper league, a dynasty league. This is the guy you're looking at for this.
Yeah. Now let's talk about one of my favorite wide receivers, and Rondale Moore. Now, he was drafted in the 2nd round. He was the 49th overall pick by the Arizona Cardinals. So he's obviously tied to a franchise quarterback. And he will be working between veterans. This is very important. Veterans, DeAndre Hopkins and AJ Green. AJ Green is only on a 1-year deal. Christian Kirk is also there, and he's set to become a free agent next year. So maybe not this year, but next season, Rondale Moore would just be lined up alongside of DeAndre Hopkins
Mm-hmm.
on a very talented offense.
I mean, this kid's a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
As far as if you were to watch the highlights of him, if you saw him play, he was great on the sidelines. He had great feet, great hands. There were so many plays that he fought for the ball on the sidelines or tiptoed in. But how many times did you see Kyler Murray rolling out and throwing a sideline pass to Hopkins?
Exactly 12 times.
Well, there you go.
No,
You
I'm
know,
totally kidding.
I was going to say, damn, you really looked into this shit. But that you see Kyler Murray doing that all the time, rolling out and hitting a receiver on the sideline or coming across. This is the type of play that this kid makes.
Yeah. I think that they're going to work beautifully together because they're both like scramblers, like gritty. And like I said, he's going to be working with Hopkins and AJ Green, who are both veterans. So he just needs to absorb their knowledge of being a wide receiver in the NFL. And this guy's just going to thrive. Especially in Dynasty. In Dynasty,
Yeah.
this guy's a steal.
Yes. Because, I mean, where are you going to be picking him up? I mean, I think he's not going to be getting drafted until the 10th round, 9th round.
I think it really depends on the coach speak. You know, will AJ Green be the wide receiver 2? Will Rondale Moore be working in the slot? Like, we need to figure that out.
And they will have a training camp this year, so we'll hear stuff
Yeah.
coming out. We'll see how they're using them, but
yeah, his usage is not as obvious as Najee Harris.
Yeah. But again, in a dynasty league or something like that, this is someone you could look at for sure to put on your team. I mean,
absolutely.
Just so you guys know, Shane and I were texting back and forth during the draft, and we're like, is there any way they can fall to the 3rd round? Maybe the Bears get him in the 3rd round. We'd love to see him in Chicago.
Yeah, was Rondale Moore drafted yet? Oh, we need that guy.
But it did not.
Speaking of the Bears,
Dun, 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 dun.
We wanted to save this guy for last. We are Bear fans, so we figured that we might be over talking about Justin Fields. But he was drafted number 11 by the Chicago Bears via a trade. Now, if you are a Bears fan...
Hang on, did I hear that? Hang on, say that again. I don't know if I heard you right. Say that one more time.
That Justin Fields was drafted overall number 11 by the Chicago Bears via a trade.
Okay, I'm not sleeping? I'm not dreaming?
No.
Okay.
So if you're a Bears fan and you're watching this live, when it came down to the 11th pick and you heard that the Chicago Bears had traded down, I don't know if you guys were like me, but my heart sank immediately. And I was like, oh no, what did we do? Please don't tell me you're drafting Mac Jones. Please don't tell me we're wasting another pick. Please don't do this.
I was, for the love of everything holy, do not pick Mac Jones.
Yeah. And then when they said Justin Fields, it literally took me a couple seconds to actually comprehend that that's what he said. And then I just got really excited. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, we didn't talk about this on our last episode because we literally did not think it would ever happen. But Justin Fields was our second favorite quarterback in this draft.
Both of us, definitely.
And we both obviously would have loved the Bears to have drafted him. So the fact that they actually did is just mind-blowing because the Bears don't pull off really good draft moves.
So when this happened, I mean, Shane had his fingers must have been going 100 miles an hour because I got a quick text from him. Holy shit, do you believe this? Did this just happen? And I'm sitting there going in response back like, okay, I'm back aboard. I'm now a Bears fan again. They didn't fuck it up.
Yeah. So let's just talk about the trade. So the Giants received the Chicago Bears number 20th overall pick of this year and their 5th round pick. And they're also going to be getting the Bears' 1st and 4th round picks next season. So the Bears aren't going to be able to, follow this move with next season's draft and get, one of the better wide receivers in the draft. But I think that's okay because Allen Robinson, this poor guy, he's had horrible quarterback play his entire career. Now, I wouldn't say every single game, but just all of his quarterbacks are, mediocre at best. He just
Let's just put it
has
this
been
way.
cursed.
In his professional career, when the season starts off this year, there'll be not one of his quarterbacks that he played with starting in the NFL. Not
Yeah.
one. Not one. No one. Not one. And he might not have a single quarterback he's played with even step a foot on the field this year.
Well, don't we still have Nick Foles?
He's not going to steal a field unless
No,
they're
but he's a bench warmer.
yeah. I'm talking okay. So he's on the field on the sideline, but I'm talking about playing significant time in the NFL. None of his
Yeah.
quarterbacks he's ever had is going to play any
Nope.
kind of significant time in the NFL this year.
He's outlasted all of them.
As well, he should.
So, he went out and he said that I refuse to play with this organization. I'm not re-signing a deal. I don't even want you guys to franchise tag me. I can't deal with this quarterback situation. And obviously, management has been listening to that, listening to the fans saying, you guys just do horrible during the draft. You don't make any exciting moves. And you do horrible at drafting quarterbacks. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see if we can fix that. And they did a marvelous job. They got Fields, and then the second round, they got another steal on a tackle that should have gone in the first round. And I'm just so impressed. And this makes me believe that Allen will re-sign with the Bears next year.
We can hope.
Unless his curse continues and for whatever reason he can't re-sign with the Bears and he has to go play for
Green Bay.
whoever the Green Bay Packers quarterback is. Yeah.
So again, Shay and I were talking the whole time during the draft on the first day and the second day. But when this happened, I was like, "Hey Shane, did you ever see the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner? Cheesy movie. But I really liked it. It was entertaining and it was kind of cool. But in that movie, for some of you who have not seen it, but I'm sure some of you have, the owner of the team tells Kevin Costner, who's playing the GM of the team, you need to make a splash. Guess what? The Bears made a splash.
Mm-hmm. Quite an impressive one. I've gone around and read a majority of the experts' consensus.
Sure. Not concessions. That's getting popcorn and hot dogs and stuff. The consensus.
Thank you. The consensus of all the experts and how they felt the draft went for all the teams. And it seems overall that the Bears have the highest grade out of all the NFL teams. I'm going to give credit to a man named, or it could be female, I guess this is a unisex name, but Renee Bugner. This person combined 18 evaluations from experts all over the league on all the teams' drafts. So your total score, the highest it can actually be is a 4.0. With this, the Bears got a 3.99.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How come you waited for this show to pull this one out of your hat? You didn't tell me anything about this.
No, I did not.
No.
Yeah, so anyone that's questioning the Bears trading future talent with their draft, saying, "Oh, we don't have a first round pick next year," all the experts are saying this is a beautiful move by the Chicago Bears. And let's just say this doesn't work out and Fields is not the answer that Chicago's been looking for. It's like all the fans are excited. We're excited again. It's like it's been so hard to watch some Bears games just because once we get the ball, we can go 3 and out so easily.
Shane, I don't know if this happened to you, but I'm on Facebook, and all my friends on Facebook, they're all. So, there was a couple people that are happy that all these ones. Oh, the Bears screwed it up again somehow. I know they did. Why did they pick Fields? Why didn't they go for? And they're just like, I know it's going to happen. This is not going to work out. And I'm every single one of my friends that are saying this on Facebook. I'm going on there. You just don't understand, do you? They got
Mhm.
the second best quarterback in the draft at number 11 when they were supposed to be picking at number 20. You just don't understand. You don't understand that then the Bears came around in the second round and traded up again to pick a kid that was supposed to be a top 20 pick, and probably, honestly, any other year in the draft, he was probably would have been the best offensive lineman in the draft.
Mhm.
This year there was such an abundance of offensive linemen, but they say this kid is a beast. Well, just as far as a run blocker, he loves to pancake people. I mean,
Yeah.
he loves to put people on their back. That this kid's just a beast. So for all the Bears fans out there that are second guessing because we're so used to second guessing, don't second guess this one. They got it right.
Yeah. Unlike Trubinsky, Fields has a proven track record. He's
Yes.
played all 3 years as a QB. He played in the big games. He beat Trevor Lawrence in the big game.
He beat Trevor Lawrence his whole entire as growing up, as everything. They lived in the same area. He beat him at every level, not just in that one college game.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a cannon of an arm. He's accurate. He can move out of the pocket. He's a kind of a big guy, so this is a quarterback that the Chicago Bears have never had. Never had anyone with his skills on the roster.
Not even Bob Avellini.
Not even Sid.
Oh, you're going way back now.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Is Papa Hallis smiling right now?
I think so.
I think so too.
I mean, you just seen where like the NFL is going these days. Like I've been wanting a quarterback with this kind of skill for the longest of time, and we just keep on getting those pocket guys. And it's just like we need athletic, athletic quarterback. And he's smart too. He's not. I'm just rambling at this point.
As a Bear fan, if you're not happy about this, you're not a Bears fan. They did a fantastic job, and I cannot believe it. I'm going to actually just say this also. Teams that historically have screwed up every draft possible, the Jets did a good job too.
Yeah. Looking at this grade, it's funny when you see the teams on the bottom that got the lowest grade. I mean, the Texans got the lowest by far, but it went Texans, Seahawks, Rams, Raiders, Saints, Cowboys, Packers, Colts, Steelers, Cardinals, Buccaneers, Bills. Most of those teams are playoff caliber teams.
Yeah.
And they got really bad draft grades. And then you got Chicago Bears all the way at the top. The Jets were number 4. It's crazy.
It is. It is. Like I said, teams that have historically done bad in the draft, somehow this must be a bizarro world or something like that because they actually did well. So I know we didn't talk about this, but Shane, who do you think the biggest loser in the draft was?
Well, I'm not going to steal your thunder, so go ahead.
No. I'm just. I mean, I think we're probably going to think the same thing. What do you think?
Well, you already put the name in my head, so that's
Yeah, I
all
know
I
I
can
did.
think about right now.
I know I did.
So just go ahead.
Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood down in Jacksonville. That's who I think was the biggest loser in all this. James Robinson last year came out of nowhere to be one of the most fantasy relevant backs in the league for the whole year. And then now all of a sudden they bring in ETN. And someone who is comfortable with Trevor Lawrence, and you'll think Trevor Lawrence can have something to say about that. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with this guy.
I
Who do you
thought you're
think?
I thought you're going a different direction.
No. I know.
So
I'll let you do this one.
So we'll talk about that. Yeah, I mean Robinson, undrafted rookie, comes in. Like their weak spot was not the running game. Their running game was solid. He was a top 5 running back throughout the year.
I mean, again, what came out of nowhere, and he was probably the most consistent running back in the league last year.
Yeah.
Game in and game out, week in, week out. He was probably the most consistent. fantasy running back in the league last year. And what they say was, well, we didn't think too highly of you anyway because you were undrafted anyway.
Yeah, we didn't draft you.
Yeah.
We didn't spend
So
any draft capital.
we're gonna bring in our new quarterback's friend from college, and yeah. Thanks for what you did last year, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it really hurts both their values.
It does. It really does.
It's not like Robinson's just gonna be sitting on the bench with ETN doing everything. And unlike what the coach said, he's not gonna be ETN's not gonna be your third down back.
No.
He's gonna demand a lot more work than that.
Yep.
Once he hits the field and if he's dominating, like when Kamara was a rookie with the Saints, he had two talented running backs in front of him, but he just showed every single game he's the most electric. Like he's the guy.
He just shoved them aside.
Yeah, that's Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. So I think Mr. Robinson here is going to become Latavius Murray.
He could, yeah.
But I know where you thought I was going. I know where you thought I was going.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have not given out this award in weeks. We've kind of left it alone. But on a day like today, this is deserved. Our flush of the week award goes to Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Not only did he tell everybody that he doesn't want to play for the Packers anymore, that I don't want to play for you, I'm not going to play with you ever again, but he told them an hour before the draft. Are you kidding me?
Which gives them no time to prep.
So, Mr. Rodgers, this one's for you. Okay, I do apologize. But seriously, I mean, here's a guy that I always thought for years, I would love for him to be a Bears quarterback. For years, I was always looking at him going, I wish he was a Bear. Thank God he's not a Bear. That'd be another reason I was be pissed off for.
That's just crazy drama right before the draft.
Yeah.
And let's make this a double flush award.
Oh, okay.
Award.
One more for him?
No. This is going to go to his team, the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, okay.
For
hang on, I like this. Let me do this again.
Go ahead. That goes to you, Green Bay Packers. Because you guys have had one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time. This guy's a guarantee Hall of Famer. And you've done nothing but supply him with just nothing. Like your first round draft picks all go to defense. You go defense. Yeah, he has Devontae Adams, but you given him this one guy. And then last year you draft a rookie quarterback to replace him, even though he's not even close to being washed. Like that was just stupid. And then you hear that he wants to leave your team. And again, you don't try to convince him otherwise. You didn't give him any offensive weapons that he's going to be excited about. It's like, what are they doing? It's honestly, this is like Bizarro World.
You know what this reminds me of?
The Packers look like the Bears, and the Bears look like the Packers.
But but this is what it reminds me of. This reminds me of when Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause broke up the Bulls, winning all those championships, saying, it's us. We can win without Michael Jordan. We can win without Scottie Pippen. It's our system. It's this. It's that. No.
I would love to see how many games the Packers can win without Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you guys love because that's what you're going to be getting.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have one other thing. We do appreciate you guys listening. We really do. We have fun doing this, and it's just two guys talking football with each other, that enjoy watching the game, looking at the stats, going in and digging into why things are happening. But without you guys, we could do it over the phone with each other. So we do appreciate it. And truly, drop a line to us. Shane will tell you where to drop a line to us. But drop a line to us. Let us know why you're listening or what brought you. What are you just starting off with fantasy? Is this something new to you? Why in Ireland and Germany and why are you guys listening to us? Are you we really want to know. We're curious and would love to get to know you guys. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and if you guys want anything particular that you want us to talk about, feel free to drop us a line. You can always reach us at Twitter. We always answer everything on Twitter, which is at @theProsFF. Again, if you guys liked any of our content or anything like this, please subscribe. It just helps with our algorithm. Next week, we'll be talking, actually, next couple of weeks, we'll probably be doing some mock drafts and seeing how all these rookies are being placed. Again, you can see all of our episodes, show notes, and content at our website at thefantasypros.com. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.